Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome to this new video series. In this series, I'm going to be teaching you how to actually make a video game for free. So basically what the game we're going to be making is kind of a ball game where you have to roll the ball up and down ramps and stuff like that. And we're going to be using this app right here called Unity. Now I'll put a description for Unity in the video. So if you don't have that, pause the video and go download that now. But if you already have it, let's start. So you want to open up the app Unity. Now what you want to do, you want to go to File, New Project, and then you can save this project to wherever you want. I'm just going to call it Ball Game. And then don't worry about all these now, just leave all those unchecked and just click Create. And then it will create your app for you. It will create it. Okay, so now we have our game. So before we start, I want to go over a few things. This right here is our scene view. This is our view where we're going to be modeling our game. This right here is our game view, where we can actually play our game by clicking the play button and playing it. So, and I'm just going to show you a few controls. If you hold the Alt key and then press the mouse button down, you can pan around like this on an axis. And then if you hold the middle mouse button and pan around, you can move with the move tool. So those are just some quick pointers. So let's get this game going. I'm going to start by going to Game Object. Then I'm going to go to 3D Object and click Cube. Now if you'll notice on the right, it gives us all the cube properties. Now we can also rename this right here so we can just stay organized. We'll call this ground. And if you'll notice its position, it automatically spawns to 1.7 whatever. We want to center it by just hitting 0, 0, 0, and that centers our object. Okay, so now to rotate our object, we don't need to worry about that. And then we can scale our object by just making it about 10. So that's pretty good. So this is what it looks like in our game view. It does look kind of boring, don't worry, we'll add to it. And now what we want to do, now our ground's done, what we want to do is create our ball. So we want to go to Game Object, create a 3D object, and hit Sphere. Now what you want to do, you want to drag the sphere up a little bit above the ball, just like this, because I'll show you what happens if you put it right there, then go to the game view and hit play. It kind of stays there and it doesn't look like a ball at all. So you want to drag it a little bit above of the cube. Right here. Okay. So that looks good. So now let's see how that looks in our game view. That looks much better. That looks a lot more like a ball. So now I'm just going to center it on the x-axis. Perfect. And on the z-axis I could center that too. Alright. Now that is directly in the center in our game view. So our scale is good. And we can rename this sphere to ball. Okay. Whoops. Ball. Okay. Now we're not going to really rename our main camera right now, but I just want to go over a few other controls when you're first starting. You'll notice there's a check mark here right beside the ground button. Basically what that does, when you just check that, it'll add and it'll disable the object, and when you check it again, it will enable it. Same with the sphere. You check it, disable it, check it, enable it. And another good thing to stay organized here, if you're in assets, you could create a folder, and I'll get into that in future videos. So this is basically the first part of our game, and this is part 1. Wait, actually before I finish, I'm going to add a point light. So I'll go to Game Object, go to Light, and then Point Light. Now if you'll notice, it will create a light. So if you remember on our game screen before, it was all black. This will basically add some light to our game. I'll want to bring that back to the center. Oh, and if you a quick little tip, if you do something like you mess up or something and you want it to be different, or if you mess up and you want to go back without deleting anything, you could just hit Control Z. That's the undo button. Okay, so we want to drag the light a little bit above the ball, actually about that height. But if you'll notice in our game view, I don't think that provides enough light for us. So what we can do, we could just get one of these points for the sphere, like this, and we could widen the sphere. So we could widen the range of the light. So you could see, as I do this, the object starts to get darker, and as I do this, it starts to get brighter. Here, I'll just drag the game object here so you can see it. Okay, so as I do this, it gets brighter. As I do this, it gets darker. So I'm going to go to about a good brightness here, just like that, and I'll drag it a little bit out front here. Perfect. I think that's good. Okay, so we could just go to File, Save Scene, and again we could call this Ball Game. Save. So that's part 1 in the tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and see you guys next time.